I'm curious. If you switch the quarterbacks, Mahomes playing in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson playing in Kansas City, how much different are the results from what we've seen so far?
I love these hypotheticals because I love doing that, and it's a way
you can't possibly be wrong.
You can't possibly be wrong, but I always think I'm right. Never wrong when it comes to these. Mahomes and Jackson are two of the most gifted quarterbacks this league has ever seen, so I don't think there would be much difference if Mahomes was Baltimore's quarterback and Jackson was the Chiefs. I still think the Chiefs would be a Super Bowl contender. He might have an MVP. Maybe Mahomes has one. But the point of the matter is for this, basically. With Jackson specifically, Mahomes is a more natural quarterback in terms of style. Jackson has a very unique style. If you want to leverage his strengths to its fullest, you got to have someone like John Harbaugh. You got to have someone like Greg Roman who's willing to build an offense around his strengths, minimize his weakness. I think Baltimore's done that as well as you possibly can. Obviously, Andy Reid's done that as well as you possibly can with someone like Patrick Mahomes. But I think there would be almost an indistinguishable amount of difference between these two and their individual numbers. And I think either team would be just as good, if not better, if you switched them. How do you feel?
The longest time we watched these quarterbacks come out of the Big 12 and they couldn't produce in the NFL. And everyone said the Big 12, they have these terrible quarterbacks, right? It's because the coaches were taking the quarterbacks, the square peg, and trying to force them into a round hole. Of
course.
It's what the Titans did with Marcus Mariota. They tried to line him up under center. Build the offense, like you said, around the quarterback. And Greg Roman was with Jim Harbaugh, John's brother. I don't know if you knew that.
And no one's
ever said that before.
Who was their quarterback when they were going
Colin Kaepernick, and who was the offensive coordinator? Greg Roman. So you see that. I see if you switch them. I wonder if Andy Reid still wins the Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson. I do. Not to knock Jackson, but it's just Jackson's, he's lost both playoff games, one and done.
I think that's such an important part about what has made Jackson so good is that Roman has built that offense around him. I am going to assume
back against Tennessee, though.
That's fair. I'm going to assume competent coaching amongst Andy Reid, because I have a lot of respect for him, that he would have designed an offense that would play to Lamar's strengths. He would not put Lamar Jackson in the offense he runs with Patrick Mahomes. Okay, it'd be different. I think Tyreek Hill, instead of running 70 yards downfield and catching a bomb, a lot more jet motions, and having Tyreek Hill and Lamar Jackson in the backfield going opposite directions and trying to figure out where the ball is.
Watkins and
it's going to be hard. So,
and Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
With these two specific organizations and these two specific coaching staffs, I think there's minimal difference if you switch the two. They're both that great, and both cultures and both brain trusts are smart enough to try and minimize weaknesses, maximize strengths, and not fit square pegs into round.
I like the hand movements, too. When you're talking about minimizing, you're pointing down, maximize, you come up. If I had just landed here on Earth, which I have not, but had I'd be thinking minimize means small, means low. Maximize means raise up. Thank you very much. For those who are just looking at us on mute, you probably understand everything we're talking about right now because the hand
I'm a hand talker, you know. That's
very emphatic.
I like to bring these to the party, and I'm going to use them. So my favorite to win the Super Bowl this year is the Baltimore Ravens. Because Lamar Jackson, I think, is ready to take that step in the postseason against a team like Tennessee. I think they are going to be even better than they were last year. Through 2 weeks, that's what I've seen.
So if we see that this year, we're going to start to hear the comparisons of the AFC now moving from Tom Brady, Peyton Manning to Patrick Mahomes.
Isn't it already there?
It feels like it. You got to meet in the playoffs. Those two met in the playoffs. You had to go through one another, and then there would always be like the random Flacco appearance, the random Roethlisberger appearance, but you got to go through each other. We were robbed of that last year.
Yeah.
Tennessee robbed us. I hate Tennessee because of that. Love Nashville, beautiful town.
My father's from Tennessee.
People.
You back up, son.
I'm sure he's a great individual as well, but I cannot root for the Titans because we deprived us of that last year.
I understand. That's fair.
The game itself. We're going to have a show on Monday, so we'll be making our final official picks there. But at 3.5, Ravens are laying the points. Total sitting around 54. Which direction would you be going right now?
Obviously, over is what I feel like is the American move here. Yeah. Who's going to bet under when Mahomes and Jackson are sharing the same field on a Monday night, no less? So, yeah, I'm going over. And right now, like I said, I'll wait and see how things happen this week, and who knows if an injury pops up in practice. But I think the Ravens are the best team in the NFL, better than the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. And it feels dirty and slimy and disrespectful to say I'm not even going to, as a 3.5 point over that threshold of 3, I'm not even going to go ahead and take that with Patrick Mahomes. No, I'm going to take 3.5 at home, even without fans, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
It's the regular season, which means you can give the Ravens a lot more respect, because where they fail to get it done is the postseason.
Man.
This is not the postseason. I wonder how much people watching the Chiefs stumble, in the words of the Chiefs, to get to the point of overtime and then win that game. I wonder how many people it's fresh in their mind and they think, I don't want to play the Chiefs this time around. I'm playing the over. I thought about this as soon as the number came out. I said, why is this not 60?
Right, exactly.
Why is this not 60?
100%.
They got together in week 3 last year. They put 61 points on the board. Now, you can't use that as evidence because it happened then. It's going to happen now. But are the Chiefs going to stop the Ravens at all on offense? I don't see it. And there's not going to be a point where you're going to be able to hold Mahomes down. You might keep him under 40. You might keep him under 30. You're not going to keep him under 20. You're not going to keep him under 10.
Right.
I'm going with the American play over 54.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.